Thanks everyone for joining us on time for today's AMA with the PGPM admissions team. The Ask Me Anything with the admissions team. We are joined. I'll quickly introduce our illustrious panelists because they'll be the best people to actually answer all your questions related to the PGPM admissions process. We have Sobesh Ranjan, who leads our admissions process. He's assistant director for the admissions. We also have Akanksha Neja, lead who takes care of the admission process and becomes your go-to person for any query. We're also joined by two important pillars of the admissions team, Smita and Deepa. So, of course, we will be making sure that you have all your queries, all your questions answered via today's webinar. I urge all the participants to please start posting your questions in the Q&A section so that we can have a smooth Q&A towards the end of the session. Before that, just to contextualize this entire discussion, we'd like to walk you through a couple of details about, the program so that you all know it'll be able to contextualize this discussion a little better. So we'll just share our screen with all of you so that you'll be able to get a sneak peek into what we are going to be discussing today. So very quickly, of course, like I said, I welcome you all for this AMA, the Ask Me Anything with the admissions team of the PGPM program. So let's quickly get started. I hope everybody is well aware that the School of Inspired Leadership, which is almost 15-year-old B school, we started way back in 2008, 2009, right? So we are able to see that we have three formats of the program. We have our one-year flagship PGPM program, and this is the admissions team for our flagship program, our rock solid team. Of course, we also have the one-year PGPM program in HR. We'll also have the team share more insights about this program. And of course, we've got another campus. So we have two campuses in both Gurgaon and the new Gurgaon area, IMT Manesar. This is, of course, the School of Business Design running the two-year PGDM program. Of course, we'd also like to stress, because a lot of you keep on asking, 20th January is our application deadline. So of course the team is here therefore to make sure that just a couple of days before the application deadline, any questions that you may have, we will make sure that we clarify all of that. This is a little bit, I hope you all would be aware about the India Today ranking. So SOIL was one of, and let me just tell you first about the PGPM campus. PGPM campus was the top 20, and of course SOIL overall across both campuses is 21st standalone private B school that we are having as far as the India Today rankings are concerned. And this is a ranking that is developed keeping in mind multiple parameters, and of course your overall student experience and your overall success post the program is also a very important factor here in curating these rankings. So that is, of course, SOIL for you, highlighted right over here in the India Today ranking that we have. Now, a couple of things I'll just very quickly walk you through. And of course, our admissions team will also be heavily trying to bring across all these points already. We of course have a very selective cohort, but this is a profile-based selection that is done because, the classroom discussions are amidst practitioner-run faculties. So you name it and we have it, from people leading IKEA operations to, people coming and they literally, it's not like bookish academic studies that you have. People will be sharing their own experiences, that how they took, say, an IKEA from X to a Y digit number, what were the challenges that they faced. So absolutely immersive curriculum, practitioner run curriculum that we have over here. And 50% of our PGPM faculties are practitioners, and even the in-house faculties are veteran in their own sphere, and you can even get a flavor of the classrooms as well. We, of course, have deep industry connects. The SOIL was formulated after analyzing the gap with 32 consortium partners coming together and saying that these are certain gaps that are there within the industry, and we need to make sure that we try to sort these gaps and make sure that India is much more employable, is work ready, job ready. And that's the reason we keep on hosting a lot of these conclaves. Very recently we concluded our leadership summit for the PGPM program that was very well received and had spearheaded a couple of these important discussions. Even the student quality, we in the PGPM program roughly have people with with close to about 3 to 4 years of work experience. That ensures that we've got a very active student community. We have over 15 clubs and committees in the PGPM program. That is a motley mix of both academic and non-academic clubs. So we've got academic clubs on one hand and non-academic clubs as well. We've got the peer learning club also, by the way. And of course, learning is something which is encouraged over here at the PGPM program. Everyone's deeply committed. We also have a dedicated placement committee that makes sure that we're reaching out to the new age career options for you. For instance, where you're mentored and trained in design thinking, which prepares you to become better product managers in the work world altogether, or the new age roles like the founders office roles that are coming. So the placement committee identifies the sunrise sectors. They are dedicated to grooming you. They make sure that your profile building is done. They connect you to peers. You also have internal and external mentors. I don't know if you followed, day before yesterday, the student webinar that we had. Shishira spoke about that, how before her interview, she spoke with her external mentor, and she got that strength to give that interview and then crack it. And of course, there is a keen insight. Our founder truly believes, Anilsa truly believes, that curriculum has to be industry immersive and up to dated with what the new age India wants, right? So of course, everybody's been talking about layoffs, but here we constantly try to talk about that. India is of course a strong nation. You must have even recently heard a lot of other people like Nikhil Kamath talking about how it is a very interesting juncture, and the foreigners abroad are having FOMO altogether. So the curriculum is updated to suit the new AI penetrated world altogether. And of course, constantly we keep on telling you that your learning is very important. We have alums, which I'll be even telling you. We've got people like Rakesh Kamath, who's a brilliant, successful product manager. So it's just not your overall journey, but also what you gather overall from the student experience. That's really important, and that's a question that all of you should be probing in, that how important the ROI is, right? We also have these collaborations to get the best practices all together. And of course, our when we're talking about the average mean, so the average for the PGPM program has roughly been about 11 to 12 lakhs. So the statistics are right in front of you. Our top 10% have made close to about 16 lakhs per annum packages. And of course, the highest last year was 20 lakhs, right? So those statistics, we are very transparent with our statistics. Feel free to reach out on the website and take more insights. Now, very quickly, I will be inviting, of course, the team to intervene and take the discussion forward. But a quick glimpse of our alums who've been making us proud. We've got people, you name it, and we've got an alum, in that part of the world. We also have alums who've been doing really well. Of course, all the top big threes of the IT world, they come to hire from us, right? We also have people working pretty well. So there are startup founders. There are also people who are trying to create their niche altogether. From Nidhi Gobil, who's the founder CEO of Orive Organics, to Aman Malhotra, who's the global head of pre-sales tech at Mahindra, Tech Mahindra. So that's of course there. They're all approachable. Ashay Sachdev, all of them are equally approachable. They're invested in your so-called mentoring and grooming. So that's a rich community of over 1,500 alums from the PGPM program itself. And of course, Soil has got an alumni base of over 5,000. That includes both the campuses as well as the executive program that we run. Now, here I would like take a pause, and I would want the admissions team to come and intervene. Akanksha and Subesh, if I may invite both of you to please walk us through what is the admissions process like. Sai Ganesh, we'll take all your questions, don't worry. Yes.
Thank you, Nisha. Very good evening, everybody. So I'm sure most of you are already interacting with me for the entire process. Now, let's take it a step forward. Before I explain the admission process to you, I would just like to share a few tips to crack the admission process. So, cracking the admission process for the PGPM program at Soil Institute requires careful preparation and strategic approach. So, here are some tips like research thoroughly, understand the specific requirements, eligibility criteria, and the admission process. Also, familiarize yourself with the program details, faculty, campus facilities, and brush up on your quantitative and analytical skills. And these are often tested in the admission process. Also, try to build a strong profile. try to highlight your academic achievements and extracurricular activities. So, talking about the process, application form links are available on the website, and I believe the counselors are sharing the links with you and guiding you further. So once you fill up the application form and submit, it will cost you 2,000 rupees. Also, after that, the shortlisting of your profile will be done, and you'll be notified via email or WhatsApp that your profile is shortlisted. Then there'll be a selection process consisting of total 4 rounds, which we are conducting right now in online mode. First is going to be a psychometric test called STAT, Soil Talent Appreciation Test, wherein we are going to focus more on your strengths, and we are just looking for your leadership skills, and then we'll come up with a solution for that so that we can create a individual learning plan on the basis of this psychometric test. Second is going to be a life mapping exercise, which is more of a reflection exercise of your own life. And third will be group simulation based on a case study, wherein you all will be formed into groups and you'll have to discuss the case study and then come out with a solution. Fourth and final is going to be a personal interview round, which would last between 30 to 45 minutes. And then after thorough consideration, your result will be announced. And finally, you will get the offer letter, and you'll have to accept the offer letter. Now, coming on to the scholarships, which is the most asked question by the students. So firstly, I would like to discuss the need-based scholarship, wherein applicants with family income below 10 lakhs, excluding their own income, can apply for this scholarship. Second is outstanding work in NGOs, like students who are full-time employees of any registered NGO or non-profit organization working in any social space from last 1 year or more can apply for this scholarship. Third is women in leadership. Women who have done exceptional work in leadership roles for an organization should apply for this scholarship. Fourth category is Captain Vikram Batra Scholarship for Defense, like students from any armed forces or those who have parents from who have served in defense services of India can apply for this scholarship. Fifth would be merit-based scholarship, like students with exceptional record in academics or students working with any government organization like PSUs can apply. Also, extracurricular activities like winner at any national or international level can apply for this scholarship. Last but not the least, I would like to mention Earn While You Learn, which is a research assistantship. Like a selection of the RA program will be based on the performance during your PI and the SOP that you're going to submit. I hope I'm clear with the scholarship and the admission process. Over to you, Shobhesh. You would like to add?
No, thank you, Akanksha. I think you have briefly and comprehensively covered the admission process and the scholarship program that we run. That scholarship program, of course, it's become essential for the student because it reduces the financial burden to the student. And we like to, I mean, give benefit passed on to the student who are deserving candidate. So now these are the contacts for us. That's official website, and you can reach out your email or the contact number for to me and for the Akansha. So thank you everyone. So now we will take the Q&A part for each one of you. Request everyone, feel free to write your question and answer, even the smallest one. Please put in a Q&A. We will take one by one. Thank you.
All right. So we've already got a couple of questions which I'll throw at the admissions team. We've got Ayan Sheikh asking how much CAT score is required for the selection.
Okay, this question is from who?
Ayan.
Ayan.
In the Q&A. Yeah, in the Q&A section. Yeah.
Ayan, the beauty of this program is we don't consider any competitive exam scores for the selection process for 1 year PGPM program or PGPM HR. It is because essentially this is a leadership program, and for the lead to evaluate any person who can be a future leader, that has to be done on EQ and the IQ as well. Sadly, our all competitive exam or entrance exam for the postgraduate program currently in India are focused more on the IQ. These exams fail to evaluate any candidate on the EQ. So we have designed our own assessment process, that is a STAT, which Akansha already spoke, that is basically is an online profile assessment of the candidate, which include the IQ and the EQ as well. So everybody have to go through. If anybody have the competitive exam scores, they can submit. It add, of course, it add a value to your profile. So that is all. There's no entrance exam scores is required. So I hope that answer it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think you've also answered one other question then. That's Priyansh Sikka's question, because even he was asking about the NMAT exam, but you've made it amply clear that that'll add value, but it's not necessary. Okay. So a lot of questions related to cutoffs. I hope we are clear on that, because even Sanket and all are asking, can we anticipate an interview call with the 204 NMAT and 2 years of work experience?
On the 2 year work experience, yes. But it's add value, the NMAT score of 204, it's add value to your profile, of course.
There is also a question around, of course, you've spoken about how they are a class with experience. So, Yashasvi Mule is asking, is there any work ex criteria for a 1 year HR program?
For the 1 year HR program, it is not required. Even with the good profile, good academic scores, freshers can apply. And if they're able to perform well during the process, even the freshers are selected as well. Even in the current batch, out of 39, 11 are fresher. So fresher are equally competitive in terms of how they grasp this subject. So even the freshers are eligible to apply for the 1 year PGPM HR program. But for the PGPM, that include analytics, marketing, finance, 24 months of work experience is required.
Absolutely right. There is also a very interesting question. Even though I know you like even Kanksha had elaborated on this, but they wanted to specifically know that how can they be completely prepared for the entire process. So Ashutosh Shukla is asking that, what essentially are you looking at? Of course, both of you have actually touched that pointer, but if you could just reiterate that, what is something special that you're looking at when you're looking at a candidate and evaluating their profile?
See, initial apart from the hygiene factor like your academic scores and the work experience and all those, once you cross that and you get invite for the further admission process that Kansha already briefed about the four processes. To sum it all, what exactly we look in the student, the intent to do it, whether the student is taking a conscious call, that means he wanted to do, and what the objective to the student to what he wish to achieve should be clear. And this program should be a crystal to achieve that. That's one. Lastly, all this, you will, all the students get evaluated on, we call it the mother of capacities. Those are capacity to think, capacity to think, learn, relate, and action. And lastly is a motivation. So motivation already covered before. So these are the four capacities. So it's all about what you learned, whether you have a capacity to think when you come across any problem, whether you have ability to reflect that or not with your previous experience, what you've learned from there, and what the learning can be applied in the future or not, whether you have ability to take action or not. Many people have ability to design the solution, but they don't have courage to take action. So we're looking for a student who have a capacity to take an action on what the solution they are proposing. So these are the four capacity that we are looking at the any student. That is all.
Absolutely right. That's important, and that's also married to what Akanksha's point was, that you have to show your leadership skills and you have to take it very seriously. That's how Akanksha had captured it. There are these questions regarding PGTM cutoffs. This is of course a PGPM focused webinar. I see a couple of those questions. So again, if your profile is interesting, because profile based evaluation is actually the crux of evaluation here at SOIL. So please make sure that you give utmost importance and take your form seriously. Otherwise, you can address the PGDM questions alternatively. Okay, there's a very interesting question by Ashutosh Shukla for analytics. What is the eligibility? Like, how can one, because you will have to select your domain specialization. So if he wants to get into analytics, how can he take that forward?
For analytics, it's very simple. First thing, it is not required to have a mathematics at your background for the soil. that everyone is not required to have a coding experience or coding for analytics. So in I come across many such cases. The when moment we say the analytics, people think that it's a hardcore coding. No, in analytics there's a different profile comes in. One is like when you use data to analyze. There's an analyst we call it. So there's a many profile where you get data and data to analyze, that you use tool to analyze those data. So you need to learn how to use the tool. One of the prominent tool is Excel. So anybody is, I mean, doing Excel over here, I believe. Anybody is comfortable with that Excel. Likewise, there many other tools are there. But yes, if you want to grow in like what you say, data is unorganized, to organize it, and there's a many other profile where you use Python, R language. Those are very small script language with a one or two liners are there for the program that it can be learned. So depending upon if you want to learn the analytics, so depending on your strength, for example, you are tech savvy and it's easier for you to understand and learn the new tool, you can get into the analytics field. I mean, where more of the data analysis role is required, where you take out the insights from those data. There are many roles who work on the data synchronization or data arrangement, we call it. So they work on those lines, so unscattered data to scattered data, I mean organized data. So depending upon your strength, where your skills, you can say. But having said so, it is easy to make career in analytics, but depends upon where you want to go. So essentially, it is not required to have a pre-programming language experience, because there are the many roles in analytics which is not required. There's no require, but yes, understanding of data, of course, it will required.
Absolutely. I think you've totally well encapsulated this point. Now, there's Ravi Ranjan asking that, he's done his MSc and has 3 years of work experience in healthcare domain. So is in a little bit of a dilemma that, which domain will suit him for the 1 year PGPM program?
I would ask if he can, can share more about his role. Probably we can recommend. However, if you are in the healthcare, depending upon your interest, it could be marketing, could be one of them, because the healthcare industry is booming. And in healthcare, especially anybody coming from the healthcare and looking for the marketing, and so that candidate get preferred over there because you understand the language of healthcare industry, the language of doctor, the word uses. It's not the very common language that you use with along with the other industry. So you have you can do wonders over there in a healthcare hospital management or marketing role over there for the hospital, because right now more and more investment is going through the healthcare, so more and more companies coming through it.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is also a question that Nikita Gupta is asking that what is the statistics or demographics of people being placed from PGPM HR and PGPM for the last year?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. What do you mean by the
So what is the statistics? Yeah, I think you should. What is the statistics? I think maybe what Nikita is asking is that how many people have been placed for the PGPM HR and PGPM program last year?
So we have achieving 100% placement every year, year by year. So if they're looking for the what is the percentage of the student place, it's always been 100%. I mean, last year also we achieved that. Before that, I joined this organization in 2019, and since then I've seen myself they getting 100. Everybody get placed from the college. But however, I'll still insist the college will provide you the opportunity. Conversion will be the student job. So the sooner you
Absolutely.
learn that, the sooner you will get placed. Simple.
Correct, correct. I think you've also answered Sanket Singh's question then, that please share insights from the PGPM HR placements. So Sanket, that was also something that we were sharing at the beginning also, and it was beautifully encapsulated by Sobesh. And to just name a few companies in which this year we've got projects. So we've got Maverick. They're very interesting that the chief of staff at Maverick, which is a Chennai-based firm, is a Soil alum. And he came back to his alma mater this year and selected 5 students from Soil with packages ranging upwards of 15 lakh rupees per annum. So this was, of course, there in the HR domain. We've also had companies like Every Dennison come in for recruitment in HR. We recently had TVS Motors come and take, the student from HR as well as for the internship program. So again, in the domain of HR, all the statistics, we are very transparent. And like Sobesh said, we give 100% placement assistance as well as placement support. And you get a lot of opportunities. And HR, of course, is the most important aspect here because, it's been run by Anil sir, who is an HR professional and veteran who got 80 Kearney to India. Okay, there is a very interesting question by Ashutosh Shukla, which is like, what is the batch size of the PGPM program? Because, that is also a very important concern. What is the batch size?
So comprising of the PGP and PGPM, that's where we look at the 125 to 130. Internally, it will be difficult to say what is the that we're looking at, but that's the batch size. Current batch is 116, comprising of all four specialization. At
Absolutely.
this point of time, it will become difficult because we have a policy that once the student joins, they have, I mean, first month they go through all the subjects. They're trying to find out where they're best suited it, where according to their skill, their strength. So options is always student. For example, they must have joined as a PGPM HR, but when they go through the subject, they realize that probably my strength more towards the marketing. I can do well in over there. So they have option to switch as well. So depending upon the at that point, how many students go here, I mean, switch to the different specialization, so that finally the numbers comes out. But total right now we have 116 in the current batch.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. There is also this question. Of course, Ankita, can I get contact details to connect if I require for the PGDM program? Like I'd even typed, we will have a separate webinar. You don't have to worry about it. And 200%, not just for the PGDM program, but also for the PGPM program. You can go to our LinkedIn page on Soil. We keep on posting stories from both the campuses. So all the people are tagged. Rather, you can connect and get connected with all the students, and of course their networks are going to be there, so that way it's very transparent. Please feel free. Okay, there's an interesting question again around a lot of placement questions also coming in, which makes sense. That Ashutosh is asking, the highest placement goes from which branch? Okay, this is interesting. Yes, so
I mean,
what
branch
should
means
we,
we are in
yeah,
career or the
I,
specialization.
I think you can answer both because this leaves
So
us, yeah.
this year, the PGDM and PGPM both have the same highest, that is 20 lakhs. Coming specifically for the 1 year program, every year is keep changing. Last year we had analytics and marketing both at 18.5 some change. Before, I mean, during the COVID days, it was HR, got the highest. So it keeps changing every year. This year, the finance has taken the at the top spot till now. Let's see how the further placement season unfolds. But as of now, the finance, the one Saket Mohanty from finance have got the highest placement with the 20 lakhs. But we yet to see the further upcoming placement season as well.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Some of the highest packages this year, 20 lakh package has been both at Accenture as well as Aditya Birla Capital. And surprisingly, Aditya Birla Capital has selected students from various domains. So we've also got selections coming in from marketing. We've got 2 finance students. We've also got 1 HR student for Aditya Birla Capital, Niharika Taneja, Vanshika Agarwal. They're all there on LinkedIn. Please feel free to touch base with them. And of course, even rightly said, we had Accenture where we had our students placed, and they were also cross domains. So again, pick your domain not on the basis of on the basis of what the statistics are, but what you will be able to really perform well, because that's when you'll be able to deliver better during interviews. That'll be our sane piece of advice. Okay, there is a question by from Rohit Thakur that, sir, are there any specific ways to prepare for GDPI and learning exercise for the, okay, for the 2 year PGDM program? Okay, Rohit, this is not for the PGDM program, but of course, you can get knowledge about the PGPM programs. So would you like to quickly encapsulate what Akanksha had mentioned earlier about the process, the PGPM one, the
So,
PGPM? Yeah.
okay. Should I take it or Akansha, you'll take it?
Yeah, Kanksha, you've been quiet for some time. We'd love to hear you as well.
want me to explain the process again for the students?
Maybe briefly, if you can walk them through what they should definitely be aware about, because there were two questions around that.
Okay, so firstly, I had mentioned that you need to build a profile, because here we have a profile-based evaluation. So you basically need to do a little bit of homework before you apply for this 1 year program. So you can probably mention your academic qualifications precisely, and then take it forward to your work experience if you carry any. Even if you are a fresher and if you are applying for the PGPM HR, just make sure that whatever, if you have appeared for any of the competitive exams, make sure you mention the score precisely, and then mention about your overall achievements, like if there are any extracurricular achievements. And I also insisted on brushing on your quantitative and analytical skills, so that because they are often tested in the admission process. Also highlight your academic achievements, any extracurricular activities, internships, or any work experience I had already mentioned. So craft a compelling resume before you apply for this process. And I had also mentioned that the application form link is available on the website, very precisely differentiated between 1 year general PGPM and 1 year PGPM HR. So in the general PGPM, we'll be covering three specializations: finance, analytics, marketing. And yes, you can speak to us one to one, so that we can discuss about your overall profile and guide you accordingly with which specialization you can take up. And also, we have a major minor concept. So anything that aligns well with your requirements and your overall profile will be suggested to you accordingly. So by major minor, I think Shobesh had already mentioned that the entire course is divided into 3 terms. Initially, we are going to introduce you with the core and the fundamental courses of all the specializations. So here we focus more on building a T kind of a profile. By saying T kind of a profile, I would like to explain that to you, that the horizontal line in the T stands for the basic and the fundamental knowledge of all the domains. Then by vertical line, I would like to say that there'll be a deep dive into the domain, specific domain that you're going to choose for yourself. So from second term onwards, we are slowly and gradually going to advance with your specialization that you're going to take up. And if you're confused, like we have met students who are already aware that what specialization they want to take up. At times they're confused, so we are here to guide you. We're going to mention our contact details. You can directly get in touch with us, and we'll be guiding you along with your profile. So if you have a updated resume, please share with your respective counselors. That's it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And there's also a follow-up question by Sonali Soni. I have 2 year gap and I've scored an NMAT of 216. What are my chances of selection for the PGPM program?
If that candidate have 2 years of work experience, then she is eligible to apply for the PGPM.
2 years
However,
gap. Yeah.
if she is looking at the PGPM HR, 2 year gap, of course, what has already been done is already been done. But we have seen many cases where the people have gap and they've joined and they are able to deliver it. So now only thing is now she has to do well, or she has to do more intent to do this program during the process. I hope she have the academic scores, which is more than 60% in 10, 12 and graduation. That will help the admission team to look forward for her profile, or have at least give a chance for the interview process.
Okay, there's a very interesting question that Shrishti is asking, that if you have to select between PGDM and PGPM, what should it be? And is there any cutoff for PGDM also? So maybe the first part, if anyone is, how
Um,
can you figure
this
out?
is, this is the, I think, is the individual choice. What exactly, which product you like to go for it? What's the commitment you're looking at? So every like 1 year program has its own benefit, 2 year program has its own benefit. So which benefit suits you well, you should target that. So if I talk about the benefit of the 1 year program, it's have for the, it saves 1 year of your time. It's more industry oriented program. it's more of the skill development program, right? It's focused more on the skill development, where the 2-year program have, I mean, luxury of the 2-year, where it takes one course each by one. It is more of the research or theoretical approach to deliver in the class, right? It gives you a chance for the fresher, basically a chance to explore the how the corporate works during the internship. Whereas the 1-year program is designed for the working professional, where they already have some years of work experience, so they know how the business work or how the different department are interlinked and work together for the betterment of the organization. So they already have some idea of it. So that is why there is no uh, internship in the 1-year program. However, in soil, we run a social innovation program where the student work along with an NGO for a social cause. Again, they will be solving a business problem for those NGO, but we don't call it as an internship because that program is very close to our heart. So we have given a special name as a social innovation program, where we don't get reward in terms of the money, in terms of the satisfaction. We get a reward to them, so we have able to deliver or we're able to change somebody's life through that. So that's how it is. But again, it's a you can in your resume you can show as an internship. So it depends upon what your requirement is. Totally.
Absolutely. There's also a specific question asked by Sonali Soni that do you have umbrella placements?
I'm sorry, I think my network.
Yeah, Sonali is asking, do you have umbrella placements?
I'm not sure what's the meant by the umbrella placement. However, uh, this is, any company comes over here, they come with a specific role, and their requirement is also very clear in their description as well. For example, they says, this is the role and this kind of profile I'm looking at. For they says I'm looking at the people who have taken the analytics as a specialization. So those people uh, get a chance to apply for that. Some company come with for in analytics. I want engineers, or I want people who have a BCom background, or that's kind of. So it depends upon the totally the company. That is one. I'm just referring to it. Umbrella. Second umbrella could be that for the same company, both the campus sits, that is also there in this, depending upon the requirement. For example, the company says, I am coming for this 5 roles, where these 3 roles where I'm looking for anybody have at least 3 years plus of experience. And what these 2 roles we have who have a 0 to 2 years of experience. So depending upon the requirement of the company, whoever fits that bill are eligible to apply or get a chance to apply for those roles. So that's how the soil function in the placement.
Absolutely. Okay. Great. Oh, we've got another question, which is specific. I have 2 years of marketing experience and 2 years of experience in market research. Currently, I'm working as a research analyst. How can I see my career transition after joining Soil? This is anonymous attendee. So 2 years of marketing and 2 years of market research experience, and currently working as a research analyst.
So depending upon the candidate choice, for example, if the candidate want to get into the research, wanted to get deep dive into the more into the research, or the candidate would like to add analytic skills to his profile. So where the marketing analytics can work for him, and many companies look for those roles. So one hand, you already have the research background so that you understand how the research functions. So that probably will help you to grow further if you add some kind of analytics skills to your CV or to yourself. So that will help you to further to understand the data in a better way, because you already know what kind of data is required to achieve what. But how to do it, if you learn that, probably that will add a value. Secondly, the MBA or postgraduate program give a shift to your career, a level up. For example, you are part of the operational side of it. Probably from there you will in the placement you will be part of who will design the solution of the problem. Probably right now, when the solution is designed, how to achieve that solution, you're working on those to achieve that, but probably you're not part of this designing the solution. So this I mean, any postgraduate program will help you to understand the business scenario and probably to designing the solution. You will be part of that team. So that's the elevation that anybody looking at.
All right, that's interesting. Ravi's asking which specialization will be well suited for him. I think Ravi, like Akanksha had also said, you should share your resume, you should share your entire profile, because right now the answer looks a little incomplete. They won't be able to suggest. Okay, there's a very interesting question by Ashutosh. There are two parts to this question. Does soil provide hostel to the PGPM student? And if possible, please tell us what is the highest placement in every branch.
I'll take the hostel. Akansha, if you have the figure, please share that. The placement, I'll take the hostel. We don't have 1 year program. We don't have the hostel in such in our in-house hostel, but we do have arrangement for the student who stay in a particular building where that person taking care from last 8 to 10 years for our student. So he dedicated a building, I mean, a building a facility for the soil student where the soil students stay. So you can call it as a home for soil student over there. We call it in our campus, we call it as a home to the soil students. So where all students stay over there. So the student have a choice to stay in that facility, or they can make their own arrangement as well in vicinity of the campus. So that's the choice of this student.
Absolutely right, because we are treating you like young adults. All right. There is also, yes,
Future that
yeah,
placement
the placements.
figures.
Yes.
All right, I'll take that. So if we talk cohort wise, then in finance till date, highest is 20 lakhs. In the analytics, marketing, it is 19 lakhs as the highest till date in 1 year program I'm talking about. And in PGPM HR, it is 16 lakhs as the highest. Average is around 12.8 in almost all the cohorts. Yeah.
Thanks so much. I think that was very insightful. There is also a question by Pranav Kumar. Sir, I have full-time work experience of 1.5 years, and I'm falling short of 6 months to apply for the 1 year PGPM program. Please advise if I'm eligible or not. This is Pranav Kumar.
Akansha, will you take it or?
You can take it, Shovesh. No problem.
So Pranav, as the beginning itself I mentioned, for the PGPM, 24 months of work experience is required. However, if you're missing with the 1 or 2 months, we can accommodate. But in 6 months, it will be very short on that because that is you were talking about 18 months roughly. So that would be, I mean, you that doesn't make you eligible for the 1 year PGPM program. So you have to wait for probably the next year to apply for the PGPM program.
As this webinar is also getting streamed on YouTube, we have these so-called questions on YouTube chat. Pravakul Val is asking, I'm a fresher with 1 year gap. Can I apply for PGDM? Yes, for PGDM, you can definitely apply, even if you have a year gap. There's Anshul Kandari who's asking 191 in NMAT, but I have a decent profile with some extracurriculars and some skill certification. Can I expect a call from Soil for the interview process?
Again, I'm lost. I think my network is not helping me.
I'll repeat that. This is Anshul Kandari who's asking that, the NMAT is 191, but have a decent profile with extracurricular and skill certifications. Can I expect a call from Soil for the interview process?
It depends if your academic scores are decent, like is 60 plus, definitely you will get. But with the 191, definitely you will get a chance to perform in only 1 year program.
Right, right. Sankit is asking, can the college admissions team help us to evaluate our profile for admissions process?
Yes, we do that.
Absolutely right. Also, a little bit about the fee structure. That's a question from Ashutosh Shukla.
Okay. So for 1 year PGPM, that when I say the PGPM with the 3 specialized analytics, marketing, and finance, it costs 15.33 lakhs. That include your tax, program fees, tuition fees, everything. Uh, but that doesn't include the accommodation or your personal expenses. That is extra. For the HR program, it is 14.5 lakhs. That include your program fees, tuition fees, and taxes as well.
Right. Can There's a question by Shubhodeep Mana. I have some. I've got a gap year because of which because I was preparing for government exam. I've cleared many of them, but at for the past after document verification, I cannot secure my job. Okay. He's basically trying to say that there is a gap that he's having because he was preparing for government entrances and he doesn't even have like a proper offer letter because he cleared the exams but couldn't crack it finally. So, will he be considered? Will Shubhadeep Mana be considered?
So it depends upon how many years of work, gap is there. See, gap is not a hindrance as far as your commitment is very visible during the process, to be very honest. However, depending upon the eligibility, for example, for HR, the fresher eligible to apply, but for PGPM, you need to have 24 months of professional experience. So we cannot take this out from the eligibility criteria, remove the eligibility for criteria for the student. But just to make you all understand, gap is not that on basis of which we reject student. No, we don't do that. Okay. Even the companies give a chance if you have a valid reason for it. For example, somebody says during the interview that this is the gap because I was preparing for the UPSC exam. So you can expect that there will be a question around it just to validate what you're saying is true or not. So if you have a valid question, your valid answer to that, it's all right.
Absolutely. There's a question from Sai Ganesh that are there students from other countries also who are a part of the entire process, like, of taking garnering education for the PGPM program? Sai Ganesh is asking.
No, see, we have few students who are Indians, but probably settled outside and they come back. For example, RC, so this year we have who was in the US and came back, but eventually he was the Indian. We don't have in program which is is not residents of the country. However, do have an exchange program where the student have uh, our opportunity to interact with the student from the other universities. So that's where you people have the opportunity to know about them, their culture, how they believe, their thought process. So during those, program.
Right. Sankit is asking, can you please specify roles that were offered in the HR and marketing cohorts?
Akansha, will you take that?
Ramesh, you can take, no
Okay.
problem.
So in HR, see, it starts with the, role in the, the new roles that is coming up. For example, HR analytics, one of the happening roles around the HR. So in our program as well, we have included some part of the analytics because the analytics becoming the core of any business. So HR VP role is coming, talent acquisitions, then training and development department. So then HR analyst role is also very common to a business analyst in HR domain. So these are the roles specific to the HR. Now coming to the marketing, in hardcore marketing role come with the pre-sales roles come. When we say the pre-sales, people assume it's a sales. No, it's not a sales. It's more of the business analyst role, where you're trying to, or analyst role with the research. So where you're trying to understand the client requirement before you pitch to the client, where you can fit the product. So that's one market analyst role. In marketing, we do have the analytics as well, uh, like so. And moreover, nowadays most of the marketing roles getting clubbed with the analytics as well. So that's where the market is going and demand is there. So even we get the sales role as well, like business development or team lead roles that we come in over here. So, for example, we have recently we got one placement with them. We have pharmaceuticals with the channel management role was there again. So, channel management is also one of very common to soil. If you are not targeting the IT industry, if you're targeting the other industry, then these are the roles that you get. That these are the roles hardcore marketing people get.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, like I said during the presentation also that the top four ITs, we've got our alum presence, and top three of them actually directly come for campus hirings. That of course includes when we're talking about Infosys, when we're talking about Wipro, TCS, and HCL. So as we speak, HCL just completed the round as well. So of course, we also have automotive companies coming, companies like Sparks Minda. As we speak, the Kia Motors and MG Motors profiles are being assessed altogether. There'll be fitment. If people are there in the cohort from automotive industry, then definitely they do get an edge over here for the campus placement. So you name most of the industries are definitely covered during the entire placement process, and marketing has of course been one of the coveted, be it management trainee roles, be it in HR and marketing marrying together, the employer branding roles that have come. So of course, and all of these roles are mentioned on our website. Please feel free to connect. Please feel free to reach out to alums on LinkedIn. They'll all be there for your support. We have by and large covered all questions. There are two fresh questions that have come. Okay, this is the PGDM. Shubhadeep, like I said, the PGDM, we will be having a different webinar, so you don't really have to worry. Yeah, there is also Yashasvi Mule. She's wanting the contact details of alums. So, Yashasvi, please feel free to ping the team. They've shared their coordinates. They will connect you to the alums as well. Am I right? You can do that, right?
Yes, we help the student if they have their specific requirement, if they're having the specific profile now, they like to know where they can go or land up. So we have a similar profile with the alum. So they will make them understand how they took the transition, what are the steps they have taken to took this transition. So preparedness is very important for any step you're going to take. So definitely. So we can be connected on 9289270707. So this is our number, which is available on the Google and our website as well.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Any last minute comments that we can have from the admissions team, because we've exhausted all the questions that were there?
Oh, I mean, it was great interacting with the student enthusiasm of all this to who wanted to get clear about the thought process. So it's nice to see the questions coming in. The concern behind those questions is very evident and very clear from the questions. I mean, they want to secure their future. So we are here to help. Do feel free to connect with us. We will do the best what we can do. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Akanksha, Deepa, Smita, last minute comments.
Right, so just one last thing, that we are approaching the deadline soon. It's on 20th of January. Please gear up. If you have any questions, contact us. Do not delay your questions only because our phone was busy or we were not able to answer to the emails. Just try another number. You'll get through with the admissions team. All the best.
But the best way is if our phone is not getting answered or probably on the other call, put a WhatsApp message. We definitely respond back to the WhatsApp message.
Absolutely. You've got a very active and agile admissions team who's ever ready to make sure that you make the correct decisions for yourself, and they're ready to groom and mentor you. Thanks everyone for joining us, and thanks so much, Sobesh, Akanksha, Deepa, Smita, for helping us with clearing and clarifying most of the doubts. And of course, we've shared the number. Please feel free to connect and reach out to the team if you still have any doubts. Thanks so much, Harsha and team, for bringing and putting this webinar together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.